Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I will rank all the new Recolored version of the Remastered Tier 2 sets from the WoW 20th Anniversary event. So here I will include all the different ones that we know we will be able to get in patch 11.1.7, which will be released on the 17th of June. And I will also add all these other Recolored sets that we don't know when they will be available. We just know that they have been data mined around patch 11.1.7, but they probably won't be available during this patch. And so we'll have to wait to see how exactly we will be able to get these ones. But I really want to compare all these different sets and rank all of them together. Okay, so let's start first with the Death Knight set. So here we have the one that will be available in patch 11.1.7. And after that, we have the green version that will be available later on. So personally, I think this set in general is extremely cool. I love the orange/fire version. I think it's super awesome. It looks almost like the Lich King when he has these orangey eyes. And so this one, in my opinion, is super cool. And then the green one is also pretty nice. I'm just a little bit less of a fan of the colors, but overall this is something that I think a lot of Death Knights will be super happy to use. So for that reason, I'm gonna put the, let's say, one that we know for sure we will be able to get as probably a very strong A tier. And then the green one, I'm going to put it as a B tier. But overall, these are really nice sets. Next, we have the Demon Hunter set. So here we have the version from patch 11.1.7. And then we have this other version right here. So personally, I think this one is a little bit more interesting than the one we will be able to get soon. But overall, I'm just not a big fan of this specific set, so even though I think the colors on this one are a little bit more interesting, this is still overall a very bad set in my opinion and not something that I'm a big fan of. So for that reason, I will probably put this one right here as a very low C tier, and then the other one, I'll probably put it as a D tier because, again, I'm really not a fan of these different sets. Moving on, after that, we have the Druid set. So here you have the form without the main dress and then with the pants. So this is the version we will be able to get in the new patch, and this is the other version right here, as you can see. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the orange version because the colors are just not really matching for me. For instance, you have a little bit of purple on the robe, and I don't think it really matches the rest of the set. And overall, I'm just not the biggest fan of this color scheme. But here I prefer the blue and purple version, even though again there's too many colors on one single set in my opinion. I still think this one is a little bit nicer and definitely something that I prefer compared to the orange one. So here I'll probably put the orange one as a very high C tier, and then I will put this one as a low B tier. After that, we have the Evoker set. So here we have the one from patch 11.1.7, and then we have this other version. So personally, I think this set is super cool, and I think these two recolors are really amazing. First of all, here it looks like Sauron from the Lord of the Rings, so I think this is pretty awesome that you can have that on your helm. And then I just love the gold and the red, and I think everything matches really well. And then we have this other one, which in my opinion is even better. I just love this pale green color, and overall I think this is amazing. And so these two sets are really cool. And again, if you compare them, for instance, to the Druid set, you can see that there's just a little bit less colors everywhere. And I think overall it matches just better the aesthetic that I like personally. So for that reason, I'm probably gonna put this one right here as a S tier. And then for the other one, I'll put it also as a pretty high A tier. And I know this one might be a little bit controversial, but in my opinion, these are amazing sets. Then after that, we have the Hunter set. So here we have the one from patch 11.1.7. And then we have this over version, which matches the original set, or at least the dungeon version of this set that you were able to get back in the Burning Crusade. So here personally, I really prefer this version. I like the colors on this one a little bit more. This one though is pretty cool because you have really a lot of yellow, and I think the colors are pretty vibrant. But all in all, I think this one is a little bit better, and yeah, it's not like the craziest sets in my opinion, but they're still worth something. So this one is probably gonna be here, I would say like a bit here in between these two, and then I will put the other one probably right here as well as a B tier, but just a little bit better. So I'll put them both as B tiers. Okay, after that we have the Mage set. So first we have the red version from patch 11.1.7, and then we have the blue version. So here both of them are really cool, especially I think when you're thinking of Frost Mage and then you're thinking of Fire Mage, these are the perfect sets that you can have. So both of them look amazing, especially here I just love the colors on the blue one, but the red one is also really awesome. So overall, I think mages are gonna be super lucky with these different Recolored tier sets, especially because they match the different specs really well. So here, I'll definitely put this one as a S tier, and actually I'll put it before the Evoker set because I just think this is an amazing set. And then for the Mage one, the red one, I will put it just here as a very high A tier. So again, both of them, in my opinion, are super cool. I just love the blue version even more. Okay, so after that, we have the Monk set. So we have the red version, and then we also have this over blue and red version. So here, I have to say this one is absolutely amazing. I think this looks so cool, especially for a monk. I think having these like dark monks transmogs is pretty awesome, and so I'm really happy for monks because I think this is an amazing set. And then I actually really love this color variant as well because it's very unusual, and overall I feel like everything matches pretty well together. So I think both of them are actually really amazing sets, and I also love the original one from the WoW 20th anniversary event. So overall I think monks are very lucky with these Recolored versions of the tier 2 sets. So here I'll definitely put this one as a S tier, probably right here. I think this is an amazing set. And then this one I'll also put it here as a A tier because again, I think both of them are super cool. Moving on to the next one, and we have the Paladin set, which is obviously the main one that everyone has been discussing. So first we have the red version from patch 11.1.7, and then this other version right here. Personally, I know there's been a lot of criticism around the red version because it's too red and everything, but I absolutely love this set, especially with the green on the eyes and on the red of the armor and all the details. Overall, I think this is really an amazing set, and I think it looks super good. And then I don't dislike this version. I think it's just a little bit less interesting than the red one, but it's still a very nice version as well, and definitely something that I think a lot of players will also be very happy with. So when it comes to the Paladin set, I will have to put this one as an absolute S tier, and again, I know some people will disagree with me, but personally I think this is an amazing set. And then for this one, I will put it also as an S tier, but just right here, or maybe actually just here as a very high A tier, because I think this is a good set, but again, I prefer the color on the red one. And actually, I'll just put it just here because I think these two are better than this Paladin set. After that, we have the preset. So here we have the version from patch 11.1.7, and then we have this other version. And this one, again, is similar to the dungeon sets you were able to get back in the Burning Crusade, and these were recolored versions of the original tier 2 set for priests. So personally, not a big fan of this version right here. Again, I think, the colors are not that cool, and overall it doesn't really match this set, I would say, very well. I'm sure some of you will like it, and I'm sure many people will be able to make great transmogs with some of these PCs, but overall as a set, I'm not the biggest fan. But then we have this purple version, and here this is really amazing. So this one is definitely way better than the two other versions we got so far, and definitely the best presets from all these different Recolored versions. So in my opinion, I'm gonna put this one right here as an S tier. I think this is an amazing set. And then for the other one, I will actually probably put it here as a very low B tier. After that, we have the Rogue set. So here we have the dark version that again matches some of the existing items from the Burning Crusade, and then the blue version. And again, here you can get already most of these items in game. So personally, not a big fan of this one, and it's surprising because I do love the original items from the Burning Crusade. But again, the colors are just not really that great, and overall, I think this remastered tier 2 rogue set is not something I'm a big fan of because there's just too much silver everywhere and it's just not dark enough. So overall, not a big fan. But then the blue version works better because here it's a little bit less of an issue to have like a little bit of silver everywhere. And so I think the blue version is a little bit better. Again, the one thing I'm not a big fan of is the fact that there is definitely different shade of blues. So you can clearly see the shoulders are almost disconnected from the rest of the sets, but it's definitely better than this version overall. So for me, I'm going to put this one as a C tier, and then for this one, I'll probably put it right here as a B tier. But again, I think overall, these remastered rogue sets are really not my favorite ones. Then after that, we have the Shaman set. So here we have the red version from the Greedy Emissary event from patch 11.17, and then this yellow version right here. I think overall both of them are pretty decent. I like the red glow on the shoulders on this one especially. And then here I actually think this one is even better simply because everything just matches better together. So again, I'm not the biggest fan of the Shaman sets, but I think these are better versions than the one we got during the WoW 20th anniversary event. And so definitely, in my opinion, this is an improvement. So here, I'll probably put this one right here as like a pretty solid B tier. And then this one, I'll just put it as a lower B tier because again, I'm just not the biggest fan of this specific set. Then after that, we have the Warlock set. So here we have the red version and we also have this other version right here. So personally, I think the red version is not too bad, but not my favorite one ever. And then this one, I'm just not a big fan because the colors, even though they are interesting, they don't match for me this set very well. And so overall, I dislike this one more than this one. And again, I do prefer the initial one from the WoW 20th anniversary event, and I think these two recolored versions are not as cool. So here I'll probably have to put the red one right here, probably as one of the B tier sets, and this one I'll put it as a high C tier, but I'm definitely not the biggest fan. And finally, after that, we have the warrior set, and here I need to insist on the fact that I main a warrior in the game, so I'm definitely biased, but surprisingly, I'm not the biggest fan of these. I think it could have been better. Especially this one, again, a little bit similar to the Druid set. There's just too many colors, I feel, on this set, and there's a little bit too much going on. And overall, I don't feel like everything matches really well together. I do prefer the green version because it's a little bit more harmonized, and overall, I prefer the colors on this one. But I have to say this one, I was a little bit disappointed because they could have done something really amazing with it, and instead I'm just not that impressed from this version. But the green one is pretty cool. So I'll probably put this one as a high, very high C tier if this website allows me to do so. I'll just put it here. And then this one I'll probably put as a very high B tier. But actually, looking at the final results, I think I'm just going to make a few changes. So actually this one I will put it right here as a low A tier. and I will move this one probably around here at B tier. And also I do think the Death Knight actually belongs right here, and this one actually belongs right here. So overall, I think I'm a little bit more happy with this ranking. So let me know in the comments if you agree or not with me. I will also share this template in the comments so you can just have fun making your own ranking of all these different tier sets. And let me know in the comments also what you think about having so many recolored versions of these different remastered tier 2 sets. Personally, I'm happy to have some of them because I do think we got some really crazy sets with these different recolored versions. But overall, I'm just hoping we're not going to get too many of them, because at some point it's just too much and it removes a little bit the uniqueness of these different sets. So personally, I'm hoping that after that we won't be getting a lot more of these different remastered tier 2 sets. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this type of rankings. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime I wish you all a great day. Bye!